why and how the White Rock Farmers Market is such a value to the community.
So the farmers market is all about community and connection.
So you got these 5,000 people showing up. What do you think it is that drives them to come visit?
Everything that we have in the market has to be baked, made, or grown locally. So it's not like I buy something off Amazon or Alibaba and then resell it. No.
What do you think keeps people coming back?
Everybody knows. It's the White Rock Farmers Market. That's where you want to be.
Welcome to the Best of White Rock, where we sit down with the standout business owners, community leaders, and entrepreneurs shaping life here in White Rock and South Surrey for the better. These are their stories behind the people driving real change in our community. Hosted by me, Darren German of the German Group.
We are here today to understand why and how the White Rock Farmers Market is such a value to the community. And we were so thankful to have you come in today, Elaine, and let us know a little bit about what's going on with the farmers market, maybe some of the origins about the farmers market, but more importantly, what I really want to get into at some point during our conversation today is why it's so important to the community. So before we jump into all of that, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and please let everybody know who you are. And I think I gave away why you're here, but let's go for it anyway.
Thank you so much, Darren, for having me. My name is Elaine Cheung, and I'm the president of the White Rock Farmers Market, and it's such a pleasure for me to be here. Thank you for having me, and thank you for showcasing the White Rock Farmers Market. We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it feels like we were destined to do this because everybody was kind of pushing us to get together and have this conversation. And there's so many things that I'd love to unpack about the farmers market. It's been a staple in the community for how long?
26.
Is it 26 years? Okay.
Yeah.
And there's some big announcements of things to come in the near future about what's going on with the farmers market. One of the things that I found really fascinating when we first were introduced to each other, though, is just kind of the origins of not only of the farmers market, but also some of the philosophies behind it. So can you unpack that a little bit and remind me and share with everybody listening or watching right now about all that?
So the farmers market is all about community and connection. It's like, how do we bring a community together in such a relaxed and joyful thing on a Sunday morning from 10 to 2 to have a good time, basically. Bring your dogs, bring your kids, bring your cousin, your aunts. Everybody's welcome. And when you walk into the farmers market, you can talk to the vendors. You recognize them. You say hi to them, and they remember you. So it's like you visit, like it's like that's your baker guy and that's your flower person kind of thing. So it becomes a community, definitely. And we see tons of people come now week after week, and it's grown to a point where we have over about 5,000 people every Sunday. That's only a 4-hour span.
Wow.
From 10 to 2, and that's growing.
So you have 5,000 people show up on a fairly regular basis.
Yes.
And I'm assuming you see a lot of repeat people there each and every weekend, because the vendors don't always stay the same. They change.
That's right. They change. So some people come because they know a specific vendor. They kind of chase them around different farmers market. They will come to the front of our booth and say, hey, do you have so-and-so? And we say, yes, they're here this week. But as a matter of fact, you can actually check that on our website. You would list all the vendors for that Sunday. But we do see a lot of outside visitors. I've talked to people who came all the way from Vancouver, yes, the reverse way, and to come check out our farmers market. We're really growing, and everybody knows it, and we have quite a big presence. Everybody knows it's the White Rock Farmers Market. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
We actually won the award for the Peace Arch News had the, I think it's the audience, what's the favorite festival, was outdoor event, and we were the winner.
Wow.
For last year.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I didn't even know we were nominated.
Well, hey, and kudos to all the good work that you and the board of directors and the team over there are doing and putting on something that people feel the need to travel across the Lower Mainland, and we know what that's like in Lower Mainland traffic.
Yes.
You wouldn't wish that upon your enemies, right?
Yeah.
To do that. So you got these 5,000 people showing up, every weekend. What do you think it is that drives them to come visit? What is it about it?
It's so much variety. So we are a part of the BC Association of Farmers Market. So everything that we have in the market has to be baked, made, or grown locally. So it's not like I buy something off Amazon or Alibaba and then resell it. No. So there's woodworking people. There are people who are making jewelry, they're making it, you know what I mean? The food is locally grown. The crafts, we have this guy who sells vodka and gin, but he makes it, you know what I mean? They distill it. So everything is locally done or sourced or they're made locally, that kind of thing. So people love that.
Why was that important to not only the White Rock Farmers Market, but is the BC...
BCAFM, so the BC Association of Farmers Market. That's under that umbrella.
Why is that so important for them to kind of protect that local flair to what they're offering?
Because otherwise, have you ever been to the Richmond market, night market?
The night market, yes.
Yeah, so then there's a lot of vendors that are selling like outsourced, like they buy it overseas and sell it. It just doesn't have that community flair. Like people come to our farmers market to find their local people, their local artisans, their local farmers, that kind of thing. So that's the draw. It's like come where people are actually bringing their wares in to sell.
And how did you get started with the farmers market? Where's your story?
Do we really want to get into that?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
So I was asked to come in. The board had a little bit of trouble about 2 years ago. I think this is my 2.5 years. Two and a half years ago, and the market manager, Patty Oldfield, she asked me if I would join a board meeting just to check it out, and I joined it, and they had these wonderful people, but it was a bit not really action orientated, I think is the right way to say it. And I'm the kind of person who is very action orientated. So then the president at that time was trying to retire or leave because she was moving to Kelowna. And so, but no one was kind of willing to step into her shoes. And then I agreed to join the board, one, and then she asked me, would you take over to be the president? So there we go. So then I stepped up and became the president, and then I took over so many things. So we had a website that was hosted on Wix, and they were paying an extraordinary amount of money, and I rebuilt their website. I redid a whole bunch of stuff. So the savings. So basically the farmers market was not doing so well financially. It's the only way I could say it. Since my coming on and being able to help in so many different areas, we were able to cut the costs in the first year and break even. And then the next year, since I was like last year would be the second year, we made so it's like slowly we're making really good headway.
Right.
Yeah, and we changed some policies. So we're doing really well. And now all the board members that I have and the board members at large, everyone is active. So our requirement is you can't join a board unless you have something to contribute. I'm not having someone sit on our board just so they can market themselves or have a name because they can say, oh, I'm on the board of the farmers market. You know, it's really funny because we have an AGM probably coming up in May, June. We have people asking us to join the board already. But sometimes I think it's almost like they're asking because, oh, I know the farmers market and they want to join it when it's working. When it's working. Join the board when it's working for some exposure. Yeah, so like I was saying, the board right now really works. And we work really well together.
Well, and that's what makes it a success, right? So what was your biggest takeaway or thing that you maybe noticed over the course of that 2.5 years since you've been there? Was there a culture shift in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Culture shift. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So as a person who does stuff, I was executing things. So I expected the board members to also execute. Like, okay, if this is your task, I'm going to follow up with you. There's no I didn't have time to do it. Then don't join the board. Like I'm very much, so that motivated them to also want to step up because now there's a direction. We had a direction to go, and it energized the board, and it energized the staff as well. My market manager, it was, she needed a lot of help, and no one perhaps had the skills to help her, and now we have the skills to help her. So now it feels like a good team.
Yeah. And
so now it's moving. Now it's a bicycle. We're riding a bicycle.
What do you think the visitor, the person driving from Vancouver noticed maybe over that 2-year transition?
The energy, the board. We're always there. Every Sunday, some of our board members, we're there. And I stand personally, I stand at the front booth and I welcome people. I say hi to everyone, and then the kids come by, you want want some candy, the dogs want some treats, and it's like you just say hi, and then I go down and I check in. I check in with all the vendors, go, hey, how's it going this week? How's it going? And so it feels like there is a relationship. There's a relationship between the board, our staff, and the vendors. So so everybody's happy. Trust me, you want to go to a farmer's market where the vendors are happy. And I've had many feedback where they feel like, your farmer's market, this one is the best because everybody's always happy. Yeah. Everybody's smiling. And when they're happy, guess what happens to the people who come and visit? What do they see? happy. So they feel happy. It's like a influencing everything,
Sending
right?
it out to the universe.
Yes, to be a good place. And that's what we want it to be. Keep it happy and friendly, and it's a family place. Meet your friends there, bring your dog, that kind of thing.
Yeah, what do you think is one of the reasons, so this incredible mass of visitors that you see each weekend, what do you think keeps people coming back?
It's just something to do. You know how back in the 80s, okay, maybe I'm a lot older than you. We used to go to the mall.
I was a 90s kid. I still had the mall vibe.
Right? Like go to where are we going to go? We're going to go to the mall.
Right.
We're going to go hang out at the mall. What are we going to do on Sunday? We're going to hang out at this farmer's market. Check out, I don't necessarily have to buy anything, but I'm going to check it out. Well, this season is more reason to come to the farmer's market because we have pretty much doubled our size from like 90 booths to about 170 plus each week.
Yeah.
And we have way more food selection. So we have Chinese, Japanese, we have Korean, we have burgers, we have poutine, we have so many different food options. We have dirty soda, is that what they're called? That's these guys, they make these sodas, they call dirty soda. We have so many different things this year. And also we're offering 2 services. We used to offer just knife sharpening, so bring your knives down and get sharpened. This year we have someone who's gonna mend your clothes.
Wow.
That's cool, right?
That is cool, yeah.
Yeah, so these are like things, geez, the farmer's market. I can go bring my jacket to go get hemmed or pants to get hemmed, and I get my knife sharpened while I'm eating a poutine or Chinese food, whatever, dumplings, and then shopping and getting my groceries and stuff like that. So, hey,
Yeah.
one-stop shopping.
Tell me a little bit how you decide on the knife sharpening or the clothes mending person, or even from the vendor that bakes the bread or has the fresh produce. How do you make decisions on who gets to participate and who doesn't in a farmer's market?
Well, this question is really for my amazing market manager, Patty Oldfield. So I try not to butcher.
All right, Pat, pay attention,
Yeah, that's
Patty.
right, Patty. Don't grade
Tune in.
me at the end of this, but she's really good. Like, so we have a lot of return vendors every year. They come back. So there's like always a few of them that always return, and also the customers want. Like, they would return because they did well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They wouldn't come back if it wasn't good.
Right.
And then Patty, let's say there's 2 bakers. Patty would make sure that you're not side by side. Like, she would strategically place people at different spots. Since that awful incident at Lapu Lapu, remember the car? So we make sure we strategically park either our trucks or the food truck at the entrance of the market so that there's no...
Oh, fascinating.
Right? So the safety is a huge priority. We hire young people aged 14 to 18. We have kids lining up to send us their resumes and want to work at a farmer's market. It's, first of all, they make good money, and number 2, they love it. Mm-hmm. And so we have, this year I think we have 8 young people between the age of 14 and 18 working. Some of them have their traffic thing, their certificate. Right. So we subsidize them. So you want to get first aid? Like last year we gave each of our young employees $200 to take whatever they want. So it could be first aid, it could be food safe, it could be traffic. Traffic, we paid extra for that because we love people who know how to do that.
Manage the traffic.
That's right. Yeah. So there's opportunities for young people to grow. And so how am I not butchering this, Patty? That's right. So she strategically places them, and she also doesn't do so many at the same. She will manage, it's the only way I can explain it. She just makes sure that there's no overlap, so there's chances of you getting your sales going to be higher. So
right.
She thinks about all those things, that kind of thing.
Right, and so to be a vendor there, it has to be a locally grown product. That's sort
or made, or you make it like you're like a wood, you're making furniture. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Let's say you're making it, so that's fine. You have to make it, bake it, or grow locally. That's what it is, yeah.
What do you hear from the vendors? What do they say? Because a lot of vendors like that, they probably do a circuit. So maybe they're out at the Emu farm, or they're out at the the Richmond.
That farmer's market, whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
So what do you hear from the vendors that visit or that participate in your market?
They love our market. They really love. Like I said earlier, they love that. It's like everybody's always so happy here.
Yeah.
Everybody's always smiling, and like I said, we make an effort for us board members to go and meet our vendors and say hi to our vendors so they feel like they are our family. Without them, we are nothing. You know what I mean? So we understand that there's a relationship building thing with the vendors and with the community.
Yeah. What do you think makes them keep coming back outside of the money? So money's up there with oxygen. It's always important, you know. And
Yes.
we've all got these great things we're trying to do in our lives, but money's certainly important. What do you think makes them come back? You got community, you got the money.
For you talking asking the visitors?
Yeah.
Okay, the visitors come back because it's not just the vendors that they're buying from. We also, like I said, the two services that I've got, we also have a junior entrepreneur. We have all these things that maybe other markets don't have. We offer space for nonprofits to showcase the free services that they give to our community. I think this season we have 10 sign up so far. Like the Peace Arts Hospice is doing a booth. The White Rock Pride Society is doing a booth, and there's like the lawn bowling people, like, you know, so then they can showcase what they have. We have the search and rescue. It's just so we can offer our community, to show our community. Did you know that we have this? Like Together White Rock South Surrey I think they offer like therapeutic you know, so it's counseling is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
And it's like all these services that people don't know. And here's a place you can come and find out about all these things, do your shopping, eat something, and socialize and visit.
Yeah, and the farmers market does a lot for the community as well. Can you expand a little bit on some of the other initiatives that are going on there?
Yeah, so we've been lucky to be chosen to be one of the farmers market to do the coupon program, which is put out by the BCAFM. So what happens is, for example, last year we gave out $56,000 worth of food coupons.
$56,000 of food.
So it's for pregnant women, youth at risk, seniors who can't afford food. So what happens is they go to, last year we had Sources Umbrella as the pickup point. So they go to those places and pick up their coupons, and they come to our farmers market and they hit the food vendors, like the fresh vegetables or the eggs, and they use them to redeem food.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's supporting the local vendors, and it's also helping the people that need it the most.
Yes. And also, last year we had we always have a customer appreciation day, and we donate all the net proceeds. So last year we donated $1,200 to the White Rock Pantry. So White Rock Pantry is that little food pantry right next to the Playhouse, the community theater in that gravel parking lot in White Rock.
You got me thinking of the old pantry on the corner of Martin Drive and 152nd.
No,
Okay, so sorry.
It's like a little thing. It looks like a book, you know, like those little library things, but it's a food pantry.
Okay, got it.
It's next to the wall of the White Rock Playhouse, so the community theater in the gravel parking lot.
Okay.
So people is run by this amazing volunteer group, nonprofit. I don't even know if they're nonprofit, but they just like volunteers, and they make food and then they bake and they put it there for the people who need it.
Okay.
To take it. So we donated $1,200 to that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So is that always something that's been important at the farmers market, or is that like a newer initiative?
So we did that. That was the first time last year, and so we're looking at doing it every year. Like, who can we help? We're growing, right? Mm-hmm. And because we're growing, our financials are doing much better. So we are now going to be in the position, I'm so happy to say, to be one of those places that actually give back monetarily to other things.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's a huge difference from when I first started. We couldn't do that before.
Well, that's great. And so speaking about growth, so you were talking about really doubling up almost on a lot of the things being offered, whether it's food or local vendors, that sort of thing. Expand on that a little bit for me. So I know like one of the things is the footprint is really going to grow, which I think is going to be a big surprise to the downtown area, especially on a Sunday between 10 and 2. So can you tell me a little bit more about the growth that you guys are going through right now?
So we were lucky. So the suggestion came up last year from our market manager, Patty, and she said, oh, wouldn't it be great we can expand to Johnston? And I was like, okay. And she goes, really? I go, yeah. Tell me, what are you thinking? She goes, well, between Russell and Thrift, we can close that section. So then we walked around and we figured out how many booths we can fit and how the logistics. And then I went and hit every business and asked them, what do you think of that? Are you in or out? And then we had a whole proposal, and we went to council, and then it got passed. So council okayed it. And so that's how you get it done. So it's going to be the same footprint as before, which was Miramar Plaza. That's not changing. Plus Johnston Road between Russell and Thrift.
Okay, so it's going to be like a
double the size. So there'll be no parking, right? So all the cars gone. And so all the booths will be sitting in the parking spots on the road.
Right.
So the sidewalk is still completely walkable.
Yeah.
And we close it so it's safe. Like, you know what I mean? You walk through, it's perfect because the city had just finished that phase 2 upgrade for Johnston Road between Russell and Thrift. So if you look at it, there's tons of seating now. There's planters, there's garbage cans, and it looks nice. So it's like perfect for it to expand there.
Well, and what do you think that's going to do to the amount of people that show up each weekend? Is there projections that that's going to turn from 5,000 each weekend to something different or bigger?
I like to projections are just projections. I like to say 20,000, but we are doing that's why I'm so grateful for this interview, because if you can help us just get that attention, people come on in, this is going to be really great. And also, we have our own social media blitz going right now, kind of just to get awareness out. I think more than anything, it's like education is probably the best, where if you share it more and more, then people are going to know more. Because some people are like, I didn't know, right? Yeah.
Well, and even you talking about all the great things that you do for the community, that gives people a purpose to want to come and even help even more than maybe they already do.
Yes.
It's such a staple in the community. It's such a great thing to do on a Sunday.
Yeah.
In our secret little peninsula here, it's not so secret anymore, but it's such a great experience. And I've often found myself there with my family, and the kids just love it.
Yes.
Number one, you end up spending all your money on food because you know how kids are, right? But like they just love it, and the energy, from the live music to the options that are available for them to want to ask to eat at every single booth, or the really neat things that you can find there, those local artisans where you go walk through Semiahmoo Mall and you don't see that sort of stuff. You're not going to find that sort of stuff. So it's such a great experience and a great way to spend a sunny summer afternoon. Oh my God.
Exactly. So I hope everybody comes. Everybody come, because we should support local. And this is a local initiative, the White Rock Farmers Market. I think this is our 26th year. Yeah, coming up. I always think 26, 27, which one is it? But it's going to be, we are so excited for this growth, and it should grow, shouldn't it?
So it should, yeah.
Right? It shouldn't just stay in the same footprint. It should grow. Lanark, they closed down the whole downtown streets. So we should be growing and not be afraid. And like I said, because White Rock has upgraded that section of Johnston Road, it looks great, and it's like the perfect venue to have like a street festival. That's really what it is, right? Every Sunday.
Yeah. And so with this growth, is this going to now be one of the bigger farmers markets in the Lower Mainland?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're one of the bigger ones. Yeah. We call it a large market.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got nominated for at the BCAFM. We got nominated for junior youth initiatives because of our junior entrepreneur that we have, where we allow kids as young as, I think, 8 to 18 or 6 to 18 to sell their wares.
Wow.
Yeah, so that gives them an opportunity. They get a booth, we give them a free booth.
Yeah.
We're fully booked up. But, and they make whatever it is, stuffies or knitting, and then they sell it, and it gives them a chance to how do you talk to people, and it's great. Trust me, this one is great. We have some great stories of that. We had this one parent come to tell our board member and say that her daughter never is so shy about what her arts, and she never talks to anybody at school. She's like and we were so worried about her. And then we come to the farmers market, and I see she's talking to people about her art, and she's happy, and it's literally changed her life. The lady literally said, "Your farmers market changed my daughter's life." Now, those are the kind of stories that makes our staff and our board to go, that's why we do it.
That's amazing.
Right?
What's some of that feedback that you hear from people when they visit? So what do they say? So like you've got this lady or this family, that her daughter, and she's featuring her art and really seeing her coming alive, and coming out of her shell and expressing herself through her art. Yeah. Okay, so I've got to tell you this other story because it's quite funny. I think he's 13, maybe 12, 13. So he wants the junior entrepreneur booth. Okay, so our market manager, she goes, I need your parents' permission to fill in the form. And so she talks to the mom, and the mom goes, do you know my son's
whole goal in life is to work at the farmer's market. Because you know what? BC sees the young people who work at the farmer's market.
Right.
And he wants to be part of the crew. We have like 8, we mentored 4 or 5 last year. We have 8 coming up. And this is their first job. And they learn responsibility. They're there from 7 a.m. until about 3:30. They're the ground crew. They go and set up all the barricades and the delineation things, and then when the cars come in, they're helping with, where's your booth? If you need help setting up your booth, they'll help you. If you need to go to the washroom, you know what I mean? Like they would man your booth for you. So it's like great, and they count. We have different stations, so they count number of people coming in. That's how I know the number, and then they help with the teardown, and they love it. It's Sunday. They only work Sunday.
Well, it's so incredible, the amount that gets given back to the community and the youth in the community, and I hate using the word vibe, but I'm going to use it, but the vibe that's being created in the community just by gathering all these people together for the greater goal, right?
Yes.
It's such a fascinating thing. I'm curious from your standpoint, what is one of the hardest things about operating a farmer's market at the scale that it's being operated at?
I don't think it's that hard. I think if you have a good crew, and I have an amazing crew, and my market manager, she's the most amazing market manager. You gotta have good people, and you gotta have people who think outside the box, who can work really well under stress, I guess is what you wanna say. Then you don't have a problem. There is no problem. Mm-hmm. There is no problem.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. If you could crawl on top of the highest tower in White Rock, which I don't even know what that is anymore. Being in residential real estate, I should know what the tallest tower is.
I watched your video about the Semiamu plan. We should crawl on that one.
Okay, yeah, yes. Future buildings to crawl on, right? I'm thinking it's the one on the corner of 16th and 152. It's probably the tallest building in White Rock right now. So you're up there and you got a big bullhorn. What is one thing that you wish you could let people know that's either important about the farmer's market they might not know, or otherwise something that you could educate them on?
You can find everything there. You can find your food, your crafts, services, the people, connection, music, kids, the sound of kids, dogs. You can find everything, and just happy. I think energetically. That's what I like. I don't want to say, you're going to see 5,000 people or over. I want to say that the feeling you're going to find when you go to the farmer's market is something that you won't forget, and it's going to brighten up the rest of your day to the point where every week you want to come back.
Yeah.
That's what I want to. It's energetic.
Well, you are such a great ambassador for it, and I can attest to everything you're saying. I'm a regular visitor with my family, and there's so much fun things to do there, and getting to know you and having these conversations and just seeing all the wonderful things that is being done for the community as well through supporting the farmers market. It's just a phenomenal, I don't want to say cause, it's not a cause, it's a business, but it's a business with a phenomenal cause.
Yes.
And it's so neat. So, we're lucky to have people like you and your team in the city of White Rock, and I'm going to implore everybody that hasn't visited, let's turn that 5,000 into that 20,000.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And like I said, if it wasn't for my team, my board, my staff, my amazing market manager, my young people, the people who visit, the vendors, everybody plays a part. It's like an orchestra that's perfectly tuned, and it just works. That's what the farmer's market is.
So before we wrap this up, if I'm a vendor and I am on the edge of my seat listening to this interview and wondering how I can participate, and I know you guys do book up quite frequently in advance, what would be the next steps for me to get involved as a vendor?
Go on the White Rock Farmers Market website, whiterockfarmersmarket.ca.
And we'll make sure it's linked in the show notes.
And then just go to vendors and register, apply.
Okay.
Apply. We use a platform called Manage My Market. They have to create a profile, and then you just apply there. And then Patty, it's very good at getting back to you.
And is it typically booked up for the season quite well in advance, or how often?
We still got some space,
Okay.
but they start literally pounding on our door before January is over. So February 1st, we open, it's like It's like those videos you watch where they have those sales on Black Friday and then they just rush in.
Right.
Just think of it that way, but
Yeah.
electronically. Yeah, and then Patty, she's busy. She's the one who vets everybody. She checks, like, so as a person who, as a consumer who goes to the farmer's market, we can guarantee you that everything is baked, made, or grown locally because we check. We go. If you say you're growing something, we come to your farm. Mm-hmm. If you're saying you're making something, we're checking. We're making, if your stuff ends up where I could see it somewhere else, like not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything you have done, you're a treasure to White Rock, and the farmers market is a treasure to White Rock. Elaine, I want to thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.